On this episode of Made for Glory, we'll focus on the third of Jesus' 7 last words from the cross, where he says, "Woman, behold your son, and son, behold your mother." The love of a mother for her children has been described as the greatest of all loves. But the reality is, even the best of human loves, if they're not opened up to God, can be something that actually is destructive, something that tears down. There's a great example of this in the tremendous work, The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. And C.S. Lewis describes a woman who has lost her son. Her son has died, and she's on the threshold of entering into heaven. And basically, her love for her son has been twisted to something that isn't open up to God and becomes possessive and becomes controlling and becomes manipulative. And because of that, she herself can't enter into heaven. And so all the loves that God has given to us, the love of family affection, the love between friends, love between lovers, romantic love, all that must lead us ultimately towards that self-sacrificial gift love that we call agape, God's love for us. We see this in a profound way when Jesus is on the cross, because the very first and only thing that Jesus had when he came into this world, really, Jesus was born into this world in poverty, the one thing he had was his mother. He also, of course, had Saint Joseph, his father on earth, but Mary, his mother, was the one thing that he had when he came into this world. And at the end of his life, as he's dying on the cross, Jesus has been beaten, he's been abused, he's been stripped naked, and the one thing that he has in his last moments of life here on earth is his mother. And the amazing reality of Jesus is that Jesus doesn't cling to that last thing that he has. He actually gives over his mother to his beloved disciple, to John, the beloved disciple, the author of the Gospel of John. That there's this scene where you think if you've lost everything, then you're going to cling to whatever you can cling to. But Jesus gives up even that reality, this relationship with his mother. And so we see Jesus in his relationship with Mary, which is the closest possible relationship you can have with another person, that he has now extended that and purified that so that all of our loves, as we look at Jesus on the cross, that all of your relationships, all of your loves, whether that family affection, the love of friendship, romantic love, all of that can be purified as we look upon Jesus on the cross. That as Jesus hands his mother over to us, that all of our relationships can be transformed to become something more. Wherever they've settled into a place of possessiveness or use or manipulation or lust or pride or envy or jealousy, that instead they can give way to that agape, to that true and authentic love that God desires to pour into our heart, in which we see Jesus living and embodying on the cross. It's also amazing that Jesus, as he gives his mother to us, he gives us this greatest of gifts, that now you and I have a mother. We have a mother named Mary who intercedes for us in front of her son, just like Mary did at the wedding feast at Cana. She now does that in heaven. She now lifts up all of our prayers, that great intercessor. You probably have somebody in your life who's a great intercessor, who's constantly praying, who's constantly, if you have a problem, a struggle, a difficulty, you'll go to that person and like, hey, can you pray for me? Because you know that they are a prayer warrior. Well, Mary is the ultimate prayer warrior who is always lifting up the prayers of us, her children, before the throne of God, the throne of Jesus Christ, her son, who is true God and true man. So today, as we look upon Jesus on the cross, recognize that Mary is there. Mary, just as she was supporting the beloved disciple to help him to look at the cross, to help him to receive everything that Jesus desired to give from the cross, that Mary is there supporting us, lifting us up to the heart of her son so that we can receive from the cross everything that Jesus desires to give. And today he gives us that special gift of his mother.